So, unlike Arya, I'm a horrible dancer. But, but this year, I'm participating in the International Showcase for the first time. And struggling through Viet practices, I've learned that a lot of dancing has to do with stage presence. But body language isn't only limited to dance. Our next speaker is here to talk about its power in both formal and personal contexts. Please welcome sophomore Raksha Sen.
Each and every day, we all speak an endless number of words. But what you may have never heard before is that communication is actually only 7% verbal. Instead, it's 93% nonverbal. It might be hard for you to believe, but it's true. Just take a look around you. There are so many great people around us. Yet we only consider a few of them to be great leaders. Why is that? Take a moment and think of all the great leaders that come to your mind right now. Maybe you're thinking about Michelle Obama, or maybe you're thinking about Beyonce. Regardless of who it is, you'll be able to agree that they were all great communicators. But the most important reason you were able to connect with them was because of their inspiring body language. As John Maxwell quotes, "People may hear your words, but they feel your attitude." Throughout the day, we are constantly speaking, yet the focus is on the unheard parts of our speech. In other words, our body language, which is nothing more than the nonverbal cues we use to communicate. Just a simple raised eyebrow paired with the squint of your eyes is enough to convey your shallow understanding of a concept to the teacher in class. The tone of your voice, your facial expressions, and posture convey so much about how you feel about others, including feelings you might wish to remain unexpressed. Try making a few tweaks to your communication style, and you will notice the difference. Just add a simple wave to your hello, and it makes the greeting seem more heartfelt. Put on a smile and focus on the person in the conversation, and you will notice the difference. We all know the importance of making a great first impression. From the moment we meet someone, we need to be at the top of our game from the very beginning. UCLA professor Albert Mehrabani finds that body language accounts for 55% of the first impression. 38% comes from the tone of your voice, yet only 7% comes from our actual words. So then the question becomes, how do we make this great first impression? Clearly, it's through confident body language, which manifests itself in many forms. Maybe it's that job interview that could shape your future. Or maybe it's just that English presentation that could get you that A. Regardless of what it is, research shows that it takes just 7 seconds to make a great first impression. So, in my personal experience, the main occasion in which body language really seemed to put on a show was at debate tournaments. No matter how much I rehearsed my case over and over again, when I faced the judges whose eyes were set solely upon me, like all of you right now, my nervousness switch took over. And I found myself doing the most absurd of things just to expel that extra energy. I realized that at the end of the day, the weight of my words really didn't matter when all the judges could see was my fingers twiddling with the ends of my coat, twisting my hair into messy spirals, or engaging in a battle with my other hand. I realized that although we hope that people weigh what's really in the package over the decor on the outside, confident body language provides that extra embellishment that can send your message over the top. So, next came my next question, which was, how do I develop this confident body language? You can try it for yourself. Let's try sitting down, taking as little space as possible. And try sitting, taking your eye from the rest. Now, try taking up more space and sitting with broad shoulders. you'll notice that when you sat taking up more space, you felt more confident, as opposed to the timidness you feel when you have smaller shoulders and take up less space. This is because research shows you that confident body language actually has the ability to trick your brain into feeling as though you are more confident. Just take a minute. Confident body language consists of widespread hand gestures, broad shoulders, and a firm stance, as well as a gesture known as steepling, which is merely an action in which you take your fingertips and touch them with one another to create an action of self-assuredness and confidence. You can try it for yourself. In addition, a firm posture also tends to send the message that you are ready to own the stage. Understanding the importance of positive body language really helped me in becoming a successful speaker. I was finally able to put aside my suppressed nervousness and really focus on the words I had to say. This instead revealed the passion I had for the words I spoke, rather than my anxiety. It's important to remember that confident body language can also help you become more culturally aware and connected. As we live in a global world, it's important to remember that gestures that may be acceptable in one culture can be viewed as offensive in another. Proxemics, or the study of the distance between speakers, is an important issue in intercultural communication. Research shows that space plays a great role in the way that gestures are perceived. In a recent meeting between an American diplomat and an Arab host, the closeness of the Arab made the American feel so uncomfortable that he even retreated a few steps. But this action was perceived as disrespectful by the Arab because it made the American look cold and aloof. In Japan, people tend to close their eyes completely during meetings. However, this isn't a sign of some form of disrespect, but rather that they are listening carefully to the speaker. But as you all may know, such actions would be viewed as offensive in the United States, Turkey, or Cyprus because you look like you're boring the speaker. So, in order to maintain effective communication in both the political and business worlds of today, a knowledge of intercultural differences in body language is extremely essential. I know we've all been in the situation in which our body language has really just got the best of us. But remember that no matter what your case may be, with just a little tricking your brain, you can really come out of it. Remember that no matter what your words might try to convey, people have an uncanny way of deriving your true feelings from the way you portray yourself. However, what's really important to remember is that although the merits of body language include changing the way other people value you, it's not limited to that. Don't get me wrong, that's extremely important, but it's also about giving yourself the self-confidence you need to appreciate your own self-worth. Research shows that confident body language plays a close role in the relationship between low self-esteem and suicidal tendencies. A recent study led by James C. Overholser examined this relationship. He found out that low self-esteem was especially closely correlated with feelings of hopelessness, depression, and suicidal ideation, especially in young adults. It might be hard for you to believe, but body language actually has the ability to change the way you view yourself. As research shows, you can trick your brain into feeling more confident. And as you continue to practice positive body language, you will feel this change as well. I've experienced a shift in body language personally. Growing up, I was actually an extremely shy, timid person, afraid to really speak up for myself. It's only by continuing to engage in public speaking activities was I forced to adapt positive body language. I participated in countless speech and debate tournaments and other forms of public speaking, even though I was extremely afraid of it. This allowed me to learn the widespread hand gestures, firm posture, and steepling, all things that helped contribute to a confident body language that really changed the way I looked at myself. Body language gives our bodies the nonverbal cues we need to feel more self-assured in ourselves, rather than fearful of the judgment of others. In fact, while we can all practice positive body language in our own free time, such as steepling and broad hand gestures, it's important to remember that confident body language can only be best learned through public speaking. In a recent study of America's greatest fears, public speaking was listed as the #1 fear. Only second came death itself. So, in order to adequately address public speaking, self-confidence, and develop a truly confident body language, it's time for us to take the first steps through public speaking. As the human body is the best image of the human soul, let's all stand tall and put on a smile. Thank you.